I'm Bobby Halton. Welcome to Fire Engineering. We're doing a follow-up on the fire that happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma last Wednesday. A unique fire in a school. There was a series of explosions that occurred which have been determined to be 2 backdrafts. Fascinating story. The conditions were not like any that we would have imagined that could have precipitated such an activity, but we have the video and we'll be playing that. With us today is Alec Ryder. Alec was the captain on the First Due Truck Company, and upon arrival, the First Due truck and engine combined, and you found yourself on the First Due hand line with the other captain, advancing into the building. Can you tell us from where you advanced and what you encountered and what you were seeing and thinking?
Sure. I was on ladder 7, and engine 7 was first arrived on scene. We pulled up directly behind him, coming from the same station. Chief at that time was pulling in, and he went ahead and assigned both. I gave a size up. He assigned both of us to fire attack.
How'd you size it up, Alex? What can you remember?
My size up, I remember saying it was a large schoolhouse with fire showing out of one room on the north side.
So a large schoolhouse, fire showing from one room on the north side. So
and
this would be
the
this side of the building?
One room was right here.
And it'd be this right behind us
this
here?
This big window right here.
Outstanding. Okay.
Like I said, the engine had pulled on past. We had a hydrant right here in front, right directly in front, which worked out real good. We spotted the ladder back here.
There wasn't a police car spotting the hydrant for you? It was just,
no,
it was free?
There was not. It was free, yeah.
Okay, outstanding. Always good
as
to beat
far
the
as
cops.
I know, anyway.
Right.
Yeah. And we stretched a 1 3/4 pre-connect off there. Okay. Ours are normally 200 feet. We the driver riding out as captain on the engine at that time made a good call. He said, "Let's extend this hose line before we ever go in."
Great idea.
Good move, yeah. So they pulled the front jump line off, extended the hose line with the front jump line.
So how much did the jump line give you? Another 150?
It should give us another 150.
So now we got a 350 stretch.
Right. We broke out one window, used the panic bar to force entry. We had 2 guys off the ladder and 2 guys off the engine were fire attack. We went in. I was kind of taking the lead. Those other guys were pulling hose. I remember thinking, we need to go left, but I wasn't sure if we were going to go into an office area or not. I remember feeling around the left corner. Those guys were right behind me, and felt around the left corner, found lockers, and I said, we're in the hallway. So I knew it was going to be a long way down there, but we just kept pulling hose. Come to the first door. I didn't figure that was it just because of what I looked at right here. It was cool. Second door, it was cool. Third door, I thought, might be getting close, but it wasn't hot. At that time, we started encountering heat in the hallway. It was smoky the whole way, but not hot at all. We get to the 4th door. Before the door's ever open, I can hear the fire. I told those guys, be quiet, and they all stopped for a second, and you could hear the fire.
Wow.
So I found the door, couldn't find it. I tried to push on it, and it wasn't pushing. I found a pull handle, pulled the door from the right to the left. Now, I remember at first finding the door, peeking my head in, and shutting it back, saying, "This is it. We're here." So I got the guy on the nozzle, and he was kind of coming around me like this as I was pulling the door open to the right, or from the right. And as I was holding the door open, we felt the first rumble. At that time, no fire came out at us. Just you could feel something.
Like an earthquake almost?
Yeah, almost.
Like
the floor moved a lot.
Wow.
That stopped us for, we kind of reset. We were like, we wasn't sure. We weren't taking off at that time. But
something collapsed.
But we weren't sure.
Right.
And it didn't give us much time to think, because I would say within 4 or 5 seconds, the second one came. And I remember it sounded like a lot of, crackling. And then I remember the rush of wind, fire. It was orange all around us. It was, lots of fire. I didn't know where my guys went. I didn't even know if I had been knocked backwards. And I remember debris falling on top of us. And my first initial thought was the roof had collapsed. I thought we just had a roof collapse. And that's what I thought. The roof collapsed in that fire room and pushed everything out on us. I had stuff on top of me. I wasn't sure, am I going to be able to get up, or am I pinned down?
Right.
And I remember after the fire, it was a large, several seconds of fire over the top of us, and it was hot, it was burning. And I remember getting up, and at that time I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to, But when I pushed up, whatever was on me was not heavy. I think it was ceiling tiles after the fact.
Yeah.
But getting up and thinking I need to find a hose line. I need to find our hose line. And it couldn't have been 5 seconds. I, sifted through debris, put my hand right on the hose line. And at that time,
that's your lifeline. That's
it. That's how.
That's good. That's good training paying off right there.
And we've had, in the last year, the Mayday training where they lay the hose line out and put obstacles. You follow that hose line through obstacles, and then they'll pin you down, and you got to call a Mayday. But you follow on that hose line, and went right to the hose line. And then immediately I thought, I got 3 guys I got to find. And again, a testament to training. All 3 of those guys were already on that hose line.
Wow.
All 3 of them, immediately made it there.
Wow.
And I'm yelling for them because I don't know if they're out in the middle of the hallway. I'm yelling for them because I got the hose line. Come to me, come to me. One of them comes back to me and says, we're good. So the other 2 were ahead of him, and I followed him out. And it was a long crawl. It was hot, but I don't remember the crawl. I just remember. I remember the right turn when we got to that door. The hose turning right.
Freedom.
Yep. And when we came out, the Engine 5 guys that were in behind us, they were pulling hose.
Right.
They were burnt up pretty good. They had lots of burns, and they're the ones that's still in the hospital. And the guys that were right by the door with me didn't suffer as severe of injuries.
Now you got a pretty good burn on the side of your face here. I don't know how well folks can see it because it's your other cheek.
Right.
And it's from you got burnt through your hood.
Right.
And there's been a lot of talk about our gear. The gear didn't fail. It was just that hot that it burnt through that.
Right.
Our heads, believe it or not, are our least protected thermally.
Right.
And our mask and our hoods are not nearly as protective as the rest of our ensemble.
Our everybody in there's ears were burnt, and like I said, everybody had their hood on.
Can you imagine? And I think this is an important point to bring out, especially for fire engineering people. Can you imagine how bad you would have been burned had you not been wearing a hood?
No, I may not have an ear left.
Right.
The gear definitely did its job. There were injuries, but they were so much less than they could have been without the gear. They've got. I haven't seen our gear, but pictures of our gear. It's burnt up a lot.
Right. I was fortunate enough to get to see the gear, and you can see where the hoods themselves are exposed. They're burnt through, and it's not a hood failure. Right. It's basically that
they're not designed for that.
It hit its limit.
Right.
Yeah. So it's interesting. The men behind pulling hose from 5s got beat up worse than the men ahead on 7s.
They did. Because
of the way the fire behaved, or do you think the ceiling dropping on you guys gave you protection, or what do you think happened?
I think it was fire behavior a little bit. I think that we were maybe, because it was coming out of that one entrance, that maybe it came out high, and then maybe expanded with all the smoke in the hallway.
So you all were down low.
Well, we were on our hands and knees.
Hands and knees going in. They might have been back standing a little higher.
And again, we were probably, on the ground after the ceiling tiles hit us. And I don't know if they got hit with ceiling tiles or if they were in an upright position or what. But I got to think that as the fire came out, high and then expanded throughout that hallway. And actually, one of the guys was at the front door, which I was told was 110. I just now was told 110 feet.
110 feet, yeah.
And he was at the front door, and he was blown backwards, and he received burns.
Right, I heard about it. He actually got knocked off his feet and tumbled a great deal. The RIT team got to him and pulled him out. So you guys had the RIT team standing by. First alarm assignment, you had the RIT team standing by, you combined 2 companies. I mean, this is a squared away attack.
Yeah.
I mean, this is as squared away as it gets.
The fire had vented one room. We were going to go in through the hallway and put it out where it was vented,
Right, and that window was out already. So thinking backdraft.
And this is a large window. This isn't a small window.
Right, it's a 30-footer.
It's a large window. Yeah.
That's about the largest window I can remember from a fire, other than like a commercial warehouse or something.
Backdraft never entered my mind. Certainly, no.
Certainly never did. I mean, and Tulsa, I know, has got phenomenal training. I mean, it's had phenomenal training for the last 10 years. The leadership at the academy has been outstanding. What Tulsa does that a lot of organizations don't do is, you just came off your Mayday training, you're constantly retraining. Every time there's a new lesson to be learned, you guys do a great job of that. And you also do a great job of communicating on the fire ground. I mean, one of the things I hate is that people say there's too much chatter on the fire. I disagree.
Right.
You can never have enough. People see things here, they tell each other, they talk to one another.
Yeah.
So what strikes me about, Alex, your story, Alec, and knowing your reputation and the guys have told me about you, and I've been talking with some of my close friends from the department, how you've got an incredible record of bravery and great work and good firemanship. Is there anything that gave you a hint that this thing was as volatile as it could have been?
Nothing. I mean, the entire way until it happened, absolutely nothing.
Amazing.
I was completely confident the entire time, even opening that door the first time. I shut it back. I was saying, here we are, get this nozzle, let's go put this thing out.
Well ventilated, we knew it.
Yep.
Just amazing. And the other amazing piece of information that just keeps coming back to me as we keep talking about this fire is the fire service is so focused right now on modern construction, lightweight construction, trusses,
right.
and the gamut. Great,
yeah.
Great. This is legacy construction.
Yeah.
This was built in the 20s and 30s.
Right.
And that thing had been renovated 7 times.
Yeah.
I mean, this was really a structural fire. This wasn't a contents fire.
Right. Yeah.
This was a structural fire.
Yeah.
And I think that we can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. We can't forget all the things from the past because these buildings are out there.
Lots of them.
Lots and lots of them.
I can think of several more in our first in area.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, any takeaways that you've got? I mean, I think your accountability was amazing. The fact that as a company officer, once you found a secure location, the first thing you would do is get your crew on that secure line, get them out, and that speaks volumes.
I feel like the training was one of the main factors. The fact that when it happened, instead of having to go find somebody or find guys and get them back to the hose line, we wasted no time because those 3 guys that were with me were on that hose line like that.
Right, because this thing took off after those.
Yeah, it did.
Subsequent those 2 backdrafts, it took off.
Yeah, and so we had to waste no time on that, and I really do attribute that all to training, and our training staff has done a great job with that. And it's not training where they sit in the classroom and tell you what you're doing. They get out there and they make props and they design things, and we go in old buildings.
Well, you combine all 3. You show people, you tell people, and then you have them do it.
Right.
It was old Will Rogers, who's an Oklahoma native,
yeah.
who said some men learn by hearing, some men learn by seeing, but most of us got to piss on that electric fence. and
yeah.
that kind of training is invaluable.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And an outstanding organization with outstanding leadership like yourself had 8 men go into an incredible situation that could have claimed all 8 of your lives, walk out with burns but not greater injuries.
Yeah.
And now you're going to learn more and more and more from it.
Yes, sir.
But we have to say, on behalf of everybody, we're glad you're well, and we're proud as hell of what you did out here and how you took care of your men and got everybody out safe. And
thank you.
You're to be praised for it. And we'd also like to let you know that we're giving you a past FDIC for this year, specifically to you and your crew. We want you all to come out and enjoy the show, and then hopefully next year when you have time and once the chief's approved it, give a presentation on the findings that you all have gotten from this incredible fire. And I know you're going to do that, but next year if it's not ready, don't worry about it. You're our guests, and we want to see you out there at FDIC so you can tell people how to do a job right, how to encounter a completely unexpected and unforeseeable problem, to survive it and come out of it better and stronger.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I just think that's the Tulsa way.
Thank you.
Alec, thank you very much for spending time with us. I'm Bobby Halton. This is Alec Ryder. Alec was first in on this incredible fire and brought 8 men out alive.